Is it some kind of unresolved childhood trauma? Giving birth and becoming a mom made me also think about my childhood/parents more deeply and from different perspectives. I'm not exactly sure how to tackle this, but I feel like I need to vent it, and I'd like to get some opinion here. If someone asked me, let's say 10 years ago, I'd have said that I had a beautiful childhood. If you ask me now, I'd be like, yes, but the thing is that I indeed believe my childhood was very nice. Me and my sibling were very well taken care of. Healthcare, education, you name it, everything was provided, and my mom definitely was doing her best at making sure we have everything we need. But after becoming a mom myself, many other memories started coming up. I was constantly pressured about my marks at school, even though I was overperforming all the time. Always one of the best in the class, always perfect marks since the first grade. But I was screamed at as soon as I brought home a slightly worse mark, or I made a mistake in general. I was super stressed about it all the time. Any mistake was punished, and I was always afraid of disappointing my parents. It's interesting how I forgot about it, and I think this set the ultimate base for feeling like nothing I do is ever good enough. I always try to overperform no matter what it is, and I'm always worried about disappointing someone else. I was physically punished and screamed at. When I admitted this to myself, as if I was in some kind of denial, and said this out loud to my husband, I was crying and felt so stupid. It felt so humiliating. This is something that is really hard to swallow for me. I was never trusted, and this drives me absolutely crazy. I've never caused any real trouble, and also now, let's say 15 to 20 years later, I still don't understand why my mom always treated me as if I was lying to her or doing something wrong. This was mainly a thing during my teenage years. She was really giving me hard times, and we fought a lot. Because, luckily, I've always been standing up for myself, and I absolutely hated when she came at me with her projections and unrealistic assumptions. I remember telling her multiple times that it would be actually easier if I lied to her. This escalated when I was like 22 and went for a coffee with my ex-boyfriend. We saw each other after like 6 months after we broke up, after 4 years, and we just wanted to talk, close the chapter, and move on. I think it was a pretty mature move. Many adults can't do this, right? I told her, and she went completely nuts. She kept on calling me literally every minute and screaming at me to come back home. When I came back home, she was absolutely crazy. I will never ever forget this weekend and the way she behaved. I never got any answers to my questions. WTF was exactly the problem, because frankly, there really was none. I just remember that after going back to the city where I lived and studied back then, I didn't come back to visit for a long time. I kind of went and see with her for some time, and from that point on I stopped sharing details about my life. Basically went from having a conversation, or rather trying to have it, to just informing her about stuff I carefully chose. This ultimately changed my relationship with her, because I realized that I actually don't have to share everything with her, and that, unfortunately, sharing less will make my life way easier. Over the years, she seemed to somehow understand that, and she backed off. Our relationship got better but became very superficial, but we somehow found a way how to coexist and enjoy time together. Now, when I was pregnant, I didn't feel like sharing anything with her at all. Her touching my belly was making me uncomfortable. Her holding my baby was also making me uncomfortable. And now when the kid is older and they play together, I often find myself screaming inside. It hurts me when she tells my kid, "I love you so much, you're my sunshine," etc. I don't have any recollection of her saying anything like this to me ever. I actually remember asking her almost every night before going to sleep if she likes me, till I was like 10 years old at least. She knows we don't want anybody to kiss or be physically affectionate with our kid until it's mutual, but she seems to ask for it in this sneaky way when she gets too close with the face, etc. It's kinda hard to describe, but I can see what she's doing, and it makes me extremely uncomfortable. The other day I wanted to film them playing together. They moved to another room while I went to grab my coffee. The door was open, but the house was noisy, so I guess she didn't hear me coming, and at some point she started kissing my kid's legs until she realized I'm there. I know you will most likely say that it's nothing, but she knows she was doing something we don't want her to do, and this makes me feel like I can't trust her. She's generally really nice with my kid and kinda tries to behave in a way we do, no screaming, etc. But there were already a few moments when I felt like as if she got out of the grandma character. This is again pretty hard to describe, but I hope at least some of you will understand what I mean. What is the main reason I'm writing this? I'm super conflicted here. Generally, she behaves nicely with my kid. She gives us space, respects us as parents, doesn't try to tell me what to do in my life/with my kid. She knows that this really is a no-go zone. She's helpful when needed, but at the same time I have this bitter feeling about her when she's around my kid, and something is telling me that I definitely can't let her babysit unsupervised. Never happened yet. I haven't talked about this with her yet, as I'm really not sure what's going on here. Why do I feel like this? What am I missing? Is this some unresolved childhood trauma? Am I just hurt and I can't get over it?